Hey there, good Sunday morning, Super Bowl Sunday morning, Jude. Welcome to Weekend Recharge. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. The biggest sports event of the year is just a few hours away. And whether you're going to the game or just at a friend's house to watch it, we have everything you need to know about the cold and the snow and everything in between.
Yeah, let's take you outdoors.
In Detroit for us, thank you so much, and a former Super Bowl city, by the way. All right, here's some of the active advisories and warnings. The light blue winter weather advisory stretching from the Great Lakes, Michigan, into New England, but notice the darker shades of blue. We have those winter storm warnings. That's where we could be looking at still a foot of snow to go. So pretty incredible snow there. Going through the next couple of hours, you'll see what happens here as some of that snow and the rain tries to get in there and through southwestern PA, and then it begins to fill in from the mid-Atlantic, Delmarva, all the way up into down east Maine. So that is solidly rain. We're not looking at that snow line to get to the coast at all. But by the time we get to after midnight, the rain's all the way up into Maine, but the colder air is beginning to move in as well. So we have that to look forward to with sunshine coming out for tomorrow. But in the meantime, between now and then, it's pretty messy. So we do still have snow to go. In some cases, as I mentioned, maybe as much as another foot, where you have some of that Lake Ontario band helping out a little bit. But there you go. The higher elevations up towards Lehigh Valley, the Poconos, could be looking at 5 to 8 inches of snowfall still to go. So Chicago, for you, it is definitely going to be cold. Our temperature is pretty much where they're at right now, near 20, upper teens. Snow showers through the afternoon and beginning to taper off by later in the afternoon, early evening. Looking at additional snowfall around Pittsburgh towards Butler and Johnstown, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snowfall. And then you have a city like Boston where it is solidly rain, which also means, Paul, post-game, win or lose, cold rain into the 40s in Boston.
Maybe it could be the tears coming to...
I see you got you.
Okay, so it's not Super Bowl lie. It's 52.
It is 52. A lesson in Roman numerals. All right, Mike Seidel, thank you so much in Detroit. And taking a look at where we're seeing the advisories and the winter storm warnings right now, you can see they stretch from Michigan all the way from Virginia up and through Maine. You do have some winter storm warnings in upstate New York and one little nook of northeastern Pennsylvania. That's where we could see over half a foot of snow to maybe a foot of snow. And we go through the next couple of hours and you see that PA Turnpike is kind of a mess, I-80, the New York State Thruway. But we get into the afternoon, you also see the coastal rain increasing as well. So you look at the I-81 corridor and then I-95, and that's where we're seeing that rainfall. So a few more hours of that snow as we get through this evening and towards the overnight. You can see by tomorrow morning, most areas are dried out, but it is going to be cold enough. So there will be leftovers on the interstates and the side roads. So it may be very tricky and laborious morning drive tomorrow in the east. And there you go. In shades of purple, 5 to 8 inches of snowfall, maybe even up to a foot more in New York State.
Colder, and wind chill is definitely a big issue.
A lot colder would be an understatement, right? I mean, a whole lot. Dangerously cold. We have the wind chill advisories up, and you can see some 6.1 million of us feeling that advisory, and for good reason. This is where you are definitely in life-threatening conditions if you are not properly prepared.
I mean, look at this.
Oh,
the host of the Super Bowl this afternoon right now, 23 below is the wind chill. You think that's cold? We head farther north, 39 below in Duluth, 46 in International Falls. Ah, that's the wind chill.
Yes, and that's not a one and done. This is, certainly the next couple of hours going to be that brutal. And you can see even in through Chicago, where you were a bit toastier yesterday, you're just sitting at 25, that wind chill into the single digits.
And Minneapolis 6, coldest Super Bowl kickoff time temperature ever in the 52 Super Bowls they've had. And then tonight dropping down below zero and single digits here in Chicago, Des Moines, even Kansas City and St. Louis in the teens tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you've got Detroit with that fresh snow sitting at 8 tomorrow morning, and then highs still below freezing from Detroit, Chicago, Des Moines. You'll get to 37 St. Louis and 34 in Cincy. Well, he has never missed a Here with Dr. Postel in the lab, looking down the pipeline, looking upstream for the next weather maker.
You look upstream to find out what's going to happen downstream. I guess that's how it works.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be talking about is really the winter weather that's coming back to the central U.S. on Tuesday and Wednesday. And a lot of that is associated with what's happening now upstream over the Pacific Northwest. This area of low pressure, this curlicue thing here, this is actually going to bring us some snow to places like, oh, I don't know, Kansas City and St. Louis on Tuesday.
Okay, so between now, today's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's making some quick time there.
It does. It has to go fast. It's not going to walk.
Right.
It's going to follow the jet stream. It's going to take a ride on the jet stream. Isn't there like Monopoly game, take a ride on the Reading?
Yes.
Or the Reading Railroad. This is taking a ride on the jet stream. And it's this thing right here. It's going to be going down the pike like that. And we'll follow it with the jet stream and the cold air to its north as it moves across parts of the Pacific Northwest, bringing some snow along the way. But look, by Tuesday, it's more or less sitting out here, and out ahead of it, here comes the moist flow.
And what's interesting on the other side of it, too, I mean, we had record highs in California yesterday, so it's staying warm and dry there, so that's helping to guide this where it's going to be going. But yes, another warm flow there come Tuesday.
Yes,
southeast.
That's a good point, because as this flow is relatively warm and moist, it is going to move into that cold air, and there's going to be a lot of lift associated with the circulation. So right along and just north of this interface, we're going to see some snow on Tuesday. This could be some moderate snow here across parts of central Kansas all the way into central Missouri.
All right, this has got everything February to deliver to, because just off the screen we're talking about thunderstorms and maybe severe weather. So what are we looking at here as far as the cold factor, right? We're getting that dose of Arctic air now, obviously sufficient where we're seeing that precipitation meet up.
Yes, it is sufficient enough to support snow and even a mixture of freezing rain and snow farther to the south. So this will have all of those ingredients, as spring storms, or almost spring storms do anyway. They kind of bring very different air masses together. This one is no different than that. All
right, so we get to Tuesday night and we're already looking at some of that snow in through the interior Northeast. Right,
this is a band of snow that probably will contain some interesting accumulations. Several inches at least. I'm thinking 3 to 6. I've kind of thought that for a while. We'll see about that as we move forward in time. But right along this zone, central and northern Ohio, central PA, your old stomping grounds in State College.
That's right. And Wednesday, what's with the wintry mix?
What is with the wintry mix? Well, some warmer air is going to try to outdo the colder air and shove that colder air farther back to the north. We'll see if indeed that does happen. But it looks like the I-95 corridor on Wednesday, a mix or rain.
Okay.
One more map to show you heading toward mid-month. Much warmer times. It doesn't mean it's going to be warm, but relative to average, we're looking pretty good.
This is that flip that we've been sort of waiting for, now just a week or two away.
Yep.
All right, Dr. Postel, thank you.
Tomorrow, we'll get that forecast coming up. But yesterday we talked about the 5 best cities to party for the Super Bowl. Now we got the flip side, the 5 worst cities.
I feel bad saying that, but this is just weather.
Just the weather for one day.
So don't at us.
Yes, all you
we love them all.
Internet trolls, don't go, tweeting away.
Because I love Tampa, but the weather, Mother Nature's like, I don't know about you. Afternoon thunderstorms, which, come on, that's not that bad. 76 degrees, which is why we're at, that's number 5.
But still, lightning, you don't want to get out and barbecue and all that.
Right.
Too kind of windy and rainy in Charleston, South Carolina. 66. Is it really going to be 66?
In upstate, we had some icy conditions this morning. So
66? I don't know about that. It might be more like 56 in Charleston. I don't think it's going to be 66.
We'll double check.
that.
And all right, Cleveland, it's the snow showers that get you the number 3 spot. 37 degrees. Just take it easy if you're making that last dash to the supermarket.
It'll be a little breezy in Cleveland today, too. Philly. Well, this is a great reason to be inside rooting on your E-A-G-L-E-S.
Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly. And I think you can all guess what number 1's going to be. Can you guess what number 1's going to be? They're always number 1.
Darn it. They're cheating again. They're cheating again.
It's actually a pretty close tie, right, if you think about it. We'll be right back.